Hello everybody, this is Darlington Bob here, and welcome to another video where I'm going to be talking about things. So, yeah, random things, and today I'm going to be giving my opinion on all, well, I don't know, if this is all of the paint schemes or most of the paint schemes, the throwback paint schemes for this year's Bojangles, however, bleh. Yeah, this year's Southern 500. We're gonna call it that, the Southern 500, because I can't pronounce the word that comes before that. So yeah, so today I'm gonna be giving my opinion on all of the paint schemes, all the throwback paint schemes that we're gonna see at this year's Southern 500 at Darlington this year, 2016. So I don't know how many of them there are, and I don't know if so I found a website, and I don't know if this is all of the throwback paint schemes or most of them, but I decided I'm gonna give my opinion on each and every single one. That's on this website anyway. All right, so we're starting over with Jamie McMurray driving the #1 McDonald's Tonight paint scheme, which looks pretty cool. It's got like some stars on it, and it basically looks like the night sky with some yellow underlining, if you know what I mean. So yeah, looks pretty cool. Moving on to Brad Keselowski's #2 light beer paint scheme. And it would seem that this paint scheme wasn't actually driven by anybody in particular back in the day. I'm guessing this paint scheme is based off of the old style Miller Lite beer can. Yeah, I think that's how it is. And next we have the #3 American ethanol car, which is going to be driven by Austin Dillon. Looks pretty cool. Still, I would still put some more vinyls on there, but you've got like linings going from the #3 and stuff, and it looks cool. But I would put some more vinyls on there, but still looks pretty cool. But like I said, more vinyls. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be asking, Richard Childress Racing to, have the black #3 on the track like the one that Dale Sr. Drove. Well, I'm sorry to say that there's a low chance of that happening because, somebody in the Earnhardt family doesn't want to see a black #3 out on the track because it could be disturbing for them, and yeah, so just deal with it. And yeah, I highly doubt that we're ever gonna see a black #3 out on the track ever again. Moving on, so up next we have Kevin Harvick's Busch car. I'm guessing that's a beer or something. I'm not sure what the Busch manufacturer is all about. I assume it's a beer, but correct me if I'm wrong. And this paint scheme looks pretty cool. It's got quite a few vinyls on there. Not too many, but a good amount, in my opinion. Moving on, now, this next paint scheme is, in my opinion, the worst of them all. It just looks ugly. It's Casey Kane's Liftmaster paint scheme. It just doesn't look good at all. Like, there's only one vinyl, and the color just looks ugly. Like that red, it just doesn't satisfy me at all. Yeah. Sadly, this paint scheme is just as bad as Casey Kane's Drive to End Hunger paint scheme that he drove at Bristol. Yeah, this paint scheme, my least favorite. Moving on to a better paint scheme. This is the #6 AvoCare paint scheme that Trevor Bayne's going to be driving. This one looks pretty cool, and it's going to honor Mark Martin. Interesting. That paint scheme looks cool. So next we have Regan Smith's Nico paint scheme. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this paint scheme has it's like a two-tone. Like there's yellow going along the bottom and white at the top. And by the way, I actually have my iPad right here, so this way I can take a look at the paint schemes at the same time of me doing this, because well, I'm probably going to forget what the scheme looks like, and I won't be able to give my exact opinion on it. Moving along to Danica Patrick's Nature's Bakery paint scheme. Now, a lot of people don't seem to like this paint scheme for some weird reason. But I actually like this paint scheme. It looks better than Danica Patrick's regular uh, Nature's Bakery paint scheme. In fact, Danica Patrick, she should drive this paint scheme all year long, in my opinion. Looks cool. Yeah. So next we have Denny Hamlin's Sport Clips paint scheme, which also looks pretty cool. This one's like a three-tone thing. Like we have blue on the bottom, white in the middle, and then red on the top as a roof. Yeah. So normally I would put stripes, but I don't think this paint scheme needs stripes. This paint scheme looks good in its own rights. Yeah. Moving. So up next we have Casey Mears' Geico, black and gold paint scheme. I think that's gold. That could be bronze, but yeah, it's definitely bronze or something like that. This paint scheme looks good, and this one is actually based off of a number 13 paint scheme that was driven by someone who I don't know way back in the day. I think it goes all the way back to the 1963 season of NASCAR. So this paint scheme is based off of somebody else's car, which is pretty interesting. Another paint scheme that some people don't seem to like, but I like this paint scheme, and I would definitely drive it. Alright, next up we have Tony Stewart's Coca-Cola paint scheme, which looks a lot like Dale Jr.'s Nationwide paint scheme. This one looks good. Could be better, but looks good. You've got Coca-Cola on the hood, and a bunch of stuff. So yeah, this paint scheme looks cool. Another paint scheme that's based off of a paint scheme for a driver that was driven a long time ago. So paint scheme, good. And yeah, so next we have another pretty bad paint scheme in my opinion. It's Clint Boyer's 5-Hour Energy whatever paint scheme. It's supposed to be honoring Hall of Famer Benny Pearsons. Never heard of that guy. Yeah, and the paint scheme, it just doesn't have enough vinyls. Like if you want to make a paint scheme look cool, you'll want to add stripes and stuff, like, you know, lining and stuff to make it look more cool. I guess this is supposed to be replicating I guess this is supposed to be replicating Benny Pearson's paint scheme, but still, I would add on at least a little bit more detail. Yeah, so there's that much. Moving on. Next paint scheme looks better. It's Greg Biffle's Hooters paint scheme, and Hooter, I never heard of this brand, and I hear that they're going to be sponsoring Greg Biffle in 2017. Pretty cool paint scheme, another cool two-tone paint scheme. Moving along to a paint scheme that is not really so good. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s Throwback paint scheme for honoring Darrell Waltrip. Now, this paint scheme, it does have vinyls and would look cool, but the problem is that it's the colors in the paint scheme. Like, the orange on that paint scheme just doesn't look good, in my opinion. I'm afraid not. It's just, nah. Orange and yellow, that makes no sense. Orange and white just don't seem to mix together. Yeah. And so next we have a paint scheme that I really like. It's Kyle Busch's Throwback Interstate Batteries paint scheme. This paint scheme is definitely one of my favorites because, well, it's green and it looks nice. You've got like linings and stuff going zigzaggy and stuff. It just looks cool, doesn't it? Up next we have Carl Edwards' Throwback paint scheme. It is the Eris paint scheme in honor of Tony Stewart's retirement. Yeah, because Tony Stewart used to be sponsored by Home Depot, and this paint scheme is in honor of that. And it's pretty interesting how they made the words Eris look old-fashioned. So it looks like a Home Depot paint scheme, but it's actually Eris, but still looks like Home Depot. In my opinion, this is another paint scheme that should be driven all year long because it just looks that cool. And now, moving on to another paint scheme that looks cool. It's the Tide paint scheme, which is a throwback to Darrell Waltrip, another cool-looking paint scheme. And this is the Tide Pods paint scheme. And I heard that Matt Kenseth is going to be this paint scheme is also going to be driven in 2017 at some tracks. I think that's what I heard. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but cool looking paint scheme. Looking forward to seeing that one. And moving along to another cool paint scheme. It's Trevor Bain's Quick Lane paint scheme. Drove to the thing. Tribute to Mercury Montego. Never heard of that guy. So yeah, that's what that paint scheme. I would put some more vinyls on it, but it looks cool. Still, like you've got like the red in the around the headlights. It's like wearing a mask or something, maybe. And next we have Joey Logano's Pennzoil paint scheme, which is a throwback. Definitely looks better than the paint scheme that he drove last year at Darlington. Another cool looking paint scheme. Definitely has some of the most stripes out of most of the paint schemes. This one's definitely gonna stand out. Definitely, yeah. Cool looking paint scheme there. And up next we have David Reagan's Dr. Pepper throwback paint scheme. This one is good, but nah. You've got the white stuff on the top, like on the hood, on the roof, and then the trunk. But other than that, everywhere else it's this weird purpley colored thing. And you've also got a bit of white on the bottom, like, you know, as a stripe going down the bottom. So yeah, paint scheme, good, but it could stand out better. And next we have Chase Elliott's classic Napa Auto Parts paint scheme. And a lot of people were wondering, what paint scheme is this paint scheme based on? Well, it's actually going back to the old style Napa colors, like it was yellow and black back in the day, as they showed in the reveal video on the official Fox Sports YouTube channel. I think it was Fox Sports, or maybe it was on the Hendrick Motorsports YouTube channel. I don't know, it was one of them. But yeah, paint scheme looks pretty cool. Up next we have A.I. Unser's Junior Valvoline paint scheme. I have never heard of that guy. That is a really strange name. Really strange name. So it's being driven by Paul Menard, I assume. I think it doesn't say a name here. Oh yeah, this is for Paul Menard. Okay. Looks like a pretty cool paint scheme. Yeah, it is a pretty cool paint scheme. Moving along, this next paint scheme is another pretty bad paint scheme. It's the Incredible Bank paint scheme. Now, this paint scheme definitely needs some improvement. There are no vinyls on this paint scheme at all. It's just plain, boring orange. I don't know, it just looks bad in my opinion. This paint scheme could be so much better, but nope. It has no vinyls, it's just a plain, boring orange paint scheme. So this is being driven by, it doesn't say. Must be a Mr. Unknown driver. Oh, it's Josh Wise. That's who's driving this paint scheme. Alright, moving along, we have Ty Dillon's... Oh, no, this isn't Ty Dillon. This is Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman's throwback paint scheme at Darlington, which is the something paint scheme. From primary sponsor Caterpillar, and a similar stylized to Ricky Rudd's car driven for RCR's first win. Oh, okay, I guess that's what it was. Moving right along, this paint scheme looks better than most of others, but still could be improved. It's the Corvette parts paint scheme, which is driven by Jeffrey Earnhardt. Jeffrey Earnhardt, yep, that's who that is. Yep, driving Corvette parts and Otter Pops, I assume. Yeah, so that's that paint scheme. Next paint scheme looks meh. The color is but it could be better. It is Buscher's Love's Travel Shops something. Yeah, it's the Love's paint scheme, which is interesting, but it's interesting, but that's all I have to say. Up next we have, whose paint scheme is this? It is Landon Castle driving the number 38 Rumple paint scheme, which looks similar to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s paint scheme nationwide, except it's got the blue keep going across the front rather than just going down to the bottom of the bumper. Yeah, this paint scheme, another one that could be improved, but still looks good. There's a really broken song outside. Just ignore that. And This next paint scheme, I guess they didn't go very creative with this paint scheme. It's Kurt Busch's Haas Monster Energy car. Now this paint scheme looks not that much different from his normal Haas paint scheme, to be honest. Yeah, this paint scheme could be improved. Yeah, still looks cool, but again, could be improved. Could be improved. Up next, we have Kyle Larson's Target and Coca-Cola paint scheme. Another cool looking paint scheme. You've got like the Target logo wrapping around the roof and the sides of the car and stuff. This one looks like a cool paint scheme. Let's see if Kyle Larson can get another win at Darlington. Maybe he can. Up next, we have my favorite paint scheme of them all. This one is my favorite. It's Eric Almirola's STP-43 paint scheme. And I don't really know why I like this paint scheme so much. It just stands out. Like for some weird reason, this paint scheme is my favorite out of them all. Like, it just stands out that much. Probably because this car came to Real Racing 3 a long time ago. And you could have won that car, but I didn't. If you saw the rant video that I made a long time ago about the problems in Real Racing 3, but that's a question for another video. So yeah, Eric Almirola's paint scheme. Oh, I pressed the bad button. Whoops. Okay, never mind. But yeah, Eric Almirola's paint scheme, my favorite throwback paint scheme of them all. Moving right along, we have the number 46 Pilot's car, who was driven by Michael Annette. Interesting. So he's driving the Pilot's number 46 car, which looks interesting, but could use some improvement, I guess. And next we have A.J. Allmendinger's King's Ford paint scheme, number 47. This paint scheme looks cool. You've got like stripes and stuff and sponsors everywhere. This paint scheme definitely a cool one. Up next we have Jimmy Johnson's classic Lowe's paint scheme, and it's actually pronounced Lowe's, not Lowe's. And this is it says Jimmy Johnson's Darlington throwback is to Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s rookie season when David Pearson subbed for him. Interesting. So yeah, another pretty cool paint scheme. Yeah, that looks cool. Not the best, but looks cool. Yeah, looks cool. Jimmy Johnson's Lowe's paint scheme. Next, we have Martin Truex Jr.'s Auto Owner's car. And I think this sponsor is going to be sponsoring Martin Truex Jr. full-time next year. Well, not full-time, but sometimes, I think. It might not be true. But, yeah, this paint scheme, another interesting one. Well, it's basically the same as, the same situation as Jimmy Johnson's paint scheme, where there could be some improvements, but it still looks good at the same time. And next we have Matt DiBenedetto's, if that's how you pronounce his name, his Orange Crush paint scheme. And I like the font of the number 83. It looks classy and stuff. And same thing with Jimmy Johnson's number 48. Paint scheme looks pretty cool. It's got some stripes on there. At the same time could be improved, but at the same time looks cool. So yeah, there's that. And we have one paint scheme that some people may like and some people may not like. It's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, or was Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Gray Ghost paint scheme. Yeah, it was Dale Jr.'s paint scheme, but since Dale Jr. still has brain injuries, I think, or no, not brain injuries, a concussion, that's what it was. So I think either Alex Bowman or Jeff Gordon is going to be driving this paint scheme this weekend at Darlington. I'm not sure who it is yet. But this paint scheme, basically they replaced the colors of the blue, like they switched the blue for the black. So this paint scheme not too much different from Dale Jr.'s normal nationwide paint scheme. So yeah, there's that. And moving on to, hang on a second. Moving on to the second to last paint scheme, it's Michael McDowell's Trivent Financial paint scheme. Okay, that's interesting paint scheme. Yeah, there could be some more vinyls on that paint scheme, to be perfectly honest. Yep, more vinyls needed if wanting to be perfect on that one. Yeah. And now for And now for the final paint scheme. Yep, the paint scheme, last but not least, it is okay, it's so this is the number 98 core Carolina Skiff paint scheme, which is going to be driven by Cole Witt, I think, and it's in honors to Leroy Yarbrough's 1969 Daytona 500 excuse me, and Southern 500 winning car. Interesting. So yeah, Cole Witt is going to be driving the number 98 Carolina Skiff paint scheme. Yeah, I didn't know what that said until I read it. Yeah. But that is all of the paint schemes that are going to be ran this weekend at this weekend Southern 500. I'm definitely excited for the race. It'll probably be the greatest race of the year, but we'll see how great the race is. Anyway, there you go. That's my opinion on all of the Throwback paint schemes, cars. Yeah. Hang on. How long is this video? Wow, this video's been going on for about 20 minutes now. Wow. So yeah. So again, this is all my opinion. So if you respect my opinion, then I will respect yours. And that is it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.